am Sentiasis. Now I am going to teach you the transportation in plants. In the last class I taught you about the transportation in human beings. Likewise, in plants also there is a transportation system to transport the substances such as water, minerals and food. In plant body, water and minerals from the roots are transported to different parts of the plant body. And food from the leaves are transported to different parts, including the roots. So let's see which are the system involved in transportation of plants. So in the transportation system, the plants have vascular system or vascular tissue. Vascular tissue. The transportation system in plant is also known as vascular system or vascular tissue. So the vascular tissue, vascular system consists of xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem. So these are the two vascular system or vascular tissues, and these xylem and phloem are arranged like a bundle or arranged as a bundle. So this system is also known as vascular bundles. Vascular bundles. Is it clear? So the transportation system in plant is vascular system or vascular tissue or vascular bundles. So which are the vascular tissues? Xylem and phloem. Is it clear? So through xylem and phloem, the transportation of substances occur in the plant body. Let's see phloem and xylem. So this is the phloem tissue and this is the xylem tissue. Is it clear about phloem and the xylem? Now we can see, before that I will tell you something about xylem and phloem. So first we can see xylem. See, xylem is a vascular tissue in plants and it transports, or xylem transports, water and minerals. So it helps in the transportation of water and minerals. So water and minerals from where? From the roots to different parts of the plant. Okay, so xylem tissues are responsible for the transportation of water and minerals from the roots to different parts of the plant body. So there is only upward transportation here. So the xylem can do only upward transportation of water and minerals. So here the transportation of water is also known as conduction. Conduction of water. So there is only upward conduction of water and minerals from the roots to different parts of the body by the xylem tissues. Is it clear about xylem tissues? And which are the components of xylem tissue? You already learned in 9th standard. Which are the components of xylem tissues? Xylem, xylem tracheids, xylem vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. So these are the major components of xylem tissue that help for the conduction of water. So out of these 4 components of xylem, these 2, tracheids and vessels, act as a single unit. And these 2 components play a major role in the conduction of water. Is it clear? So, which components of xylem do the conduction of water? Xylem tracheids and xylem vessels act as a single unit and help for the upward conduction of water from the roots to different parts of the plant body. Is it clear? Now we can see next. So this is a xylem. And now we can see about phloem. Phloem. So phloem helps for the transportation of food from the leaves to different parts of the body. So it helps in the transportation of food. transportation of food from the leaves to different parts of the plant body, including roots. So there is upward and downward transportation of food occur in the plant body through the phloem. Is it clear? So the transportation of food in the plant body through phloem is also known as translocation. So translocation. Translocation occur both upward and downward. Downward. Okay. So in case of xylem, the transportation of water is known as conduction, and it is only upward movement. But here, the transportation of food by phloem is also known as translocation. And unlike xylem tissue, the phloem can do both upward and the downward translocation. Is it clear? And which are the components of phloem? We already learned in 9th standard. Phloem, sieve tubes. No need of phloem. Sieve tubes. Then companion cells. Companion cells. Phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. So these are the 4 major components of phloem. Out of these 4 components, the first 2, sieve tubes and companion cells, act as a single unit for the translocation of food in the plant body from leaves to different parts, that is both upward and the downward translocation. Is it clear? So that's all about the translocation. Now we can see the transportation of water and minerals, how it occurs. So the xylem need to transport from roots to different parts of the body. So how the water and minerals reach the roots, that we can see now. Okay. So suppose this is a plant. Suppose this is a tree. Roots are here under the soil. So we can draw the soil like this. Suppose this is the soil part. Okay, soil part. And now we can see one more thing I want to tell you. See, normally the root roots consist of root cells. Okay. The root cells are here. So the root cells are in contact with the soil. From the soil, the root cells can absorb water and minerals. So from the roots, the xylem can conduct water to different parts. So here, this soil consists of water and ions. Water and ions are there in the soil. So normally the root cells take up ions from the soil. So that creates a difference in the concentration of ions in root cells and soil. So to eliminate such a difference in the concentration of ions, water enters into the root cells through the process of osmosis. So you know what is osmosis. What is osmosis? So osmosis means the transportation or transfer of substances from higher concentrated region to lower concentrated region. Transportation of, here osmosis is the transportation of water molecule from higher concentrated region to lower concentrated region. If the transportation of substances other than water molecule is called a diffusion. From higher concentrated to lower concentration, there is a transportation. So you know the difference between diffusion and osmosis very well. You already learned in 9th standard. Okay. So here through osmosis, the water from the soil enter into the root cells. So before that, there is a transportation of ions from the soil to roots. So that causes a difference in the concentration of ions between roots and the soil. So to eliminate such a difference in concentration of ions, water enter into the root cells from the soil by the process of osmosis. Is it clear? So due to osmosis, The water from the soil enter into the root cells. So here the root cells create a pressure, and it is like a suction pressure to absorb water from the soil. So the roots create a root pressure. So through this root pressure, the root cells can absorb water from the soil, and with the help of the same root pressure it can conduct water upward. But this root pressure is not enough to conduct water up to the taller part of the tree. But this root pressure is enough to conduct water to the small plants like the herbs. Is it clear? So with the help of root pressure, the root can absorb water from the soil, and the same root pressure is used for conducting the water to upward parts. But it is applicable only in case of small plants like the herbs. But if it is a tree, this root pressure is not enough to conduct water from roots to different parts or upward to the side. Is it clear? Once more, the root pressure, with the help of the root pressure, the water through osmosis enter into the root cells, and from the roots through the xylem it can go upward by utilizing the same root pressure. But it is enough to conduct water in case of herbs. But in case of taller trees, this pressure, root pressure, is not enough to conduct water to all the taller areas of the tree. So how in trees the water reaches up to the leaves? How it is possible? Let's see. See, in the lower classes you learned about transpiration. What is transpiration? Transpiration. Transpiration is the process of removal of excess water from the plant body through the stomata. So, leaves are having much quantity of stomata. So, through the leaves, the major part of the water can be removed out. So, by transpiration or by the releasing of this water from the leaves, they create a pull or suction. A transpiration pull is created by the transpiration process. So, by this suction pull or suction pressure or transpiration pull, there is a pressure created in the plant body. With the help of that transpiration pull or that suction pressure, the water can move upward till the taller parts of the tree. Is it clear? So, along with the root pressure, transpiration pull also play a major role in the conduction of water in case of taller trees. Is it clear? In case of herbs or smaller plants, the root pressure is enough to conduct water. But in case of taller trees, along with the root pressure, transpiration pull also play a major role in the conduction of water. Is it clear? So, root pressure plus transpiration pull is needed. Another important point is during daytime, the stomata are open. So, the transpiration is more in case of daytime. So, during daytime, transpiration pull is the major driving force of transportation of water. But during night, the stomata are closed, so there is no more transpiration. So, the root pressure is the major driven force for conduction of water. So, more water is needed during daytime for doing photosynthesis. So, at that time, transpiration pull becomes the major driven force or driving force for conducting water. Is it clear? So, during daytime, stomata are open. So, transpiration pull became the major driving force for the conduction of water, and that water is utilizing for photosynthesis. And during night time there is no transpiration, so root pressure is the major driving force of conduction of water, but there is no photosynthesis, so no need of much water for the plant body. Is it clear about the transpiration transportation of water and minerals by the xylem tissues. And which are the major components of xylem involved in the transportation of water and minerals? Xylem tracheids and xylem vessels. Is it clear? Now we can see the next area. And this is the xylem tissue. And now we can see the translocation of food. See, as I told you, the phloem tissues are helping the plants to translocate food materials. So, from the leaves, the food can be transported to different parts of the body, different parts by the phloem tissue. Which are the phloem tissues involved in translocation? Sieve tubes and companion cells. Sieve tubes and the companion cells together work as a single unit for the transportation of transportation of food. And the transportation of food is known as translocation. So here the food from the leaves transport to different parts of the body by utilizing energy in the form of ATP. So energy is utilizing for the translocation of food. But in case of xylem tissue, for the transportation of water, they are utilizing a physical force like pressure, root pressure or transpiration force, suction pressure. They are utilizing a physical force to do the transportation of water and minerals. But phloem tissues are utilizing energy in the form of ATP for transporting or for the transportation of food materials. Is it clear? And here both upward and the downward translocation. Upward and the downward translocation occur. Then only the root also get the food materials from the leaves. Is it clear about the translocation and transportation of water and minerals? So the transportation of water and minerals are called a conduction, and they are utilizing only physical force, and the transportation of food materials are known as translocation, and they are utilizing energy for translocation. Hope you understood everything about transportation of water and minerals and transportation of food. That's all for today.